Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 114 of Pera's Playbook. Today I'm joined by Joe Wilkins Jr., former wide receiver for the University of Notre Dame and the University of Miami, Ohio. Joe, appreciate you hopping on the podcast. How's it going tonight?
It's going great. It's going great. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm always looking for guests, searching up names and, sending out messages. And I saw your name pop up on LinkedIn. And I was like, I remember that guy from Notre Dame. I'm going to send him a message, see if he answers. And you answered relatively quickly.
Sure.
So I was pretty psyched about that. Always excited to talk to some Irish athletes.
Yeah. I appreciate you reaching out. I've been on LinkedIn. I've been on the job search the last couple months. So I've been trying to be active on my socials. Yeah, no, I just saw an opportunity. I'd love to help. I'd love to be on there, talk a little bit about the Irish, talk a little bit about myself,
Yeah,
and give back to you for being such a supporter.
appreciate it. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Kind of your recruiting. And recruiting, that's a thing that it just keeps changing. The recruiting game with NIL. I mean, it's an ever-changing game. But going back to your recruiting experience, I mean, when did you like really seriously start talking to schools? At what point?
Fortunately for me, I actually got my first scholarship my freshman year. So I'm a bit of an anomaly. I think I just saw Saquon Barkley said somebody offered him, I think Rutgers, off of his JV film. He said he was a late bloomer, but I'm on the contrary to that. I had my high school head coach was in the NFL for 9 years, and then my high school wide receiver coach also played in the NFL for like 4 years. So I had some NFL eyes and connections already. So fortunately for me, I got my first scholarship by the University of South Florida my freshman year. Sophomore year got a couple more smaller schools, but then junior year is when my recruiting started to pick up. Probably had like 12 offers by junior year. And then I started probably having some big conversations around junior year.
Was it a tough choice for you?
No, no
No.
brainer for me, man. Man, Notre Dame is special, man. And I don't know. I remember saying in recruiting almost word for word, it was, you kind of I don't think I said stupid. Hopefully I didn't say stupid, but like it's a no-brainer, the 4 for 40, top five education, top five academics. I mean athletics, top five, I mean, we're just the best of the best. If you want a good education, if you want to play good big time ball, and then the culture is unmatched. Like we're a tight-knit group. You just mentioned a couple guys, and I remember them, especially Paul. I love all my teammates. I stay up to date with a lot of my teammates. And it's just an amazing place. And I was blessed to be able to attend the university.
Yeah, the culture I think is one thing that you like you said, it's unmatched. I've been watching the documentary they got on Peacock. What is it? Here
Hmm.
Comes the Irish. Kind of
Hmm.
like a little Hard Knocks, but especially for Notre Dame. And it's kind of a cool inside look at that culture and the preparation that's put in. And it's really and like you said, the academics. So I mean, you've got high culture on both academic and athletic side. It's really unique. You look at a lot of academic institutions and they don't have high athletics because athletics aren't the forefront. It's academics. And Notre Dame manages to do both, all across. You look at the men's and women's basketball teams and you look at the hockey teams and all these different teams and they're all having success and both in the classroom and on the court, on the field, whatever you have. So I mean it's definitely a unique environment, especially in the modern college
Hmm.
athletics world. Notre
Hmm.
Dame, I feel like it, just from a fan's perspective, watching the recruiting, yeah, and you look at a lot of schools and they're just throwing out money right now. And they're just throwing out money. But Notre Dame is trying to kind of, it seems like, stick to their, you want a good education, you want to play at a high level, come here, we're going to get you that.
Yeah. And I think that'll retain guys, that's why the transfer portal is so big, and people are bouncing around, is because you throw a kid $100,000 and he doesn't play or he's not happy, and then he just bounces around. I feel like for Notre Dame, especially Coach Freeman, I feel like what he's saying is, Notre Dame kind of recruits itself. I know I've heard that before, and I feel like it stands true, you don't really have to do too much recruiting for Notre Dame. You didn't have to do it for me. I had around 30 scholarships coming out, but I went to Notre Dame, said they wanted me, and I heard about the 4 for 40. I stepped foot on campus, and I just felt the environment. I'm like, man, like there's no place you want to be. You shouldn't have to recruit a guy to come to your school. I mean, you do in this day and age, but Notre Dame recruits itself.
Yeah, yeah. So once you got there, like what was there like a kind of a shock, I guess I should say, like difference in practices from high school to Division One?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The speed of the game. The speed of the game is the biggest differential between high school and college, especially at wide receiver. Man, you're going fast, fast, fast. We were up tempo, no huddle, signals. So I kind of did it in high school, but again, it's just times two, times three, in the collegiate level, and then the difficulty of competing against 4 or 5 stars every day in practice, and the difficulty of being held accountable by those same 4 or 5 stars as teammates, but then your coaches. Oh man, Coach Long was a tough coach, offensive coordinator my freshman year, and wide receiver coaches were tough, and strength coaches, Coach Bayless, man, is one of one, very difficult. So being held accountable in the strength and conditioning, being held accountable as a wide receiver, and being held accountable as a teammate was difficult, but yeah, it was amazing. It made me into the man I am today. So,
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go through a couple of like special moments in your career at Notre Dame. In 2020, you
yeah.
got your first touchdown in a win over Georgia Tech. Do you remember that moment pretty clearly?
Oh, vividly, vividly. I can take you through the whole thing, starting with Friday practice. So Friday is a walkthrough. Monday through Thursday is more getting into it. Friday is a walkthrough, no shoulder pads, maybe just a helmet, the first couple weeks so you can get adjusted to having your helmet on. But it's just a walkthrough, half the length of a regular practice. And I remember, we had a couple plays in the beginning of practice and then get to the end of practice. I believe I was a two behind Javon McKinley. And we ran the play and I'm backside. So the play I believe was a rollout. They might have tight end slip. Maybe you had like a running back slip, tight end corner route, and then I'm backside on an over route. So I'm like, and I'm like the third reading this. What was I, junior? You're a dumb kid, young kid. You're like, I'm not getting the ball. I'm a two. I'm not playing. So I run it, but I kind of jog the over route in practice. And my coach ripped me. Coach Alexander, run over there. La, la, la. He's going crazy. I'm like, all right, coach, I'm backside. Like, why are you, making a big deal about it? He's like, because in the game, la, la, la. I'm like, all right, all right. Lo and behold, get in the game. First drive of the game, long play. I believe it was a 12 play drive. The first 8, 9 plays, Javon McKinley's in. And it's hard. You're going fast. And then eighth, ninth play, he needs a breather. Joe, go in. Boom, I go in. We probably start on like the 20, 30 going in. And I did the last, 4 or 5 plays. Lo and behold, they called that same play that we ran in practice on Friday. And I sprinted my tail across the field instead of, moseying around because you're the third option. I took off to the other side of the field, and Ian Book went 1, 2, and threw it to the back of the end zone and made a catch. First touchdown for the Irish, my very first touchdown of the game. So it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely exciting moment, athletes so they get their first touchdown, first goal, first basket, whatever it is. I mean, I feel like you kind of never forget that
Hmm.
specific moment.
For sure.
You
Especially
had
like I said, when it was a situation like that where it's like
yeah,
I messed up in practice, or I didn't really want to do the play, and so
yeah,
that's why it really stuck with me.
yeah, yeah. It's funny though.
Yes.
It's good thing it worked out.
Yeah, man. I'm
Glad
very
glad your coach hollered at you, got you to run it.
yeah, me too, me too. And shout out Coach Dell. Shout out Dell Alexander, man. I'll send him this clip but shout out him for sure.
Yeah. You had another touchdown in 2021 in a win over Florida State. And that was kind of a shootout game, overtime win, right? Just by a few
Yes.
points. I remember watching that game, as a fan, you're nervous and you're stressing out because it's such a tight game. And
Mhm. Yeah,
But
and I remember being on the sidelines and man, we're biting our nails, man. It was nervous.
yeah, there's something about those. I mean, they're fun. Those nail biters, they're fun, but they'll take a couple days off your life.
Oh,
I mean,
sure do.
yeah,
Lose some hair, get some gray
yeah,
hair. Absolutely. I remember that one too. And that was personal for me because I'm from Florida. So I was born in Tampa, Florida, moved to Fort Myers, Florida in the eighth grade. And then coming out of Florida, like I said, I had around 30 scholarships coming out of high school, but no big Florida schools, no Florida State, no Miami. So I had USF, I had UCF, I had FAU and FIU, all the smaller schools, but Florida State came into town. They offered a couple people in my area. Miami, same deal, but they didn't offer me. So coming in, this is I believe, my senior year. They didn't offer me. I'm like, oh yeah, Notre Dame's coming to town. I'm playing the home team, and like you said, nail biter. I said I was on the sideline, and we're flustered. We're what's going on? We need to make a play. It's my senior year, so I'm like, man, I'm stepping up. Like, your number's called, make a play. Your number's called, make a play. And I've always been a rah guy for the most part. You can ask my teammates about me. I try to stay optimistic and do the best to my ability to be a leader. And I'm saying, your number's called, make a play. Your number's called, make a play. Lo and behold, my number was called, and I had no choice. I had to make a play, no matter if the ball's inside, outside. Jack Cohn, threw me a 50-50 ball. And, our coach, no such thing as 50-50 balls, a 70-30. You make that play. So again, it was personal for me. And I was, roo-rahing on the sideline, telling everybody we need to make a play. I can't be the Florida kid and we lose to Florida State. At Florida State, I had my wide receiver coach I played in the NFL was at the game. So again, it was personal for me. And, I made sure when my number was called, I made the play.
right, yeah. And then there's a little part of you that's like, hey, you didn't recruit me. Now I just scored on you.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And I knew a couple guys that played on Florida State too. So it was an amazing experience. First game of the season. I feel like first games of the season are my big games, man. I like
Yeah,
fall camp, I prepare well and I'm ready to go. And first game of the season, I always have my best game.
yeah. Hey,
It's
it's good
so
to
it
start
seems.
strong.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then what comes with the season is what comes with the season. But again, I was blessed to be able to attend the University of Notre Dame for 5 years and score some touchdowns and make some relationships that'll last forever. So I'm beyond thankful.
So talk a little bit about playing in that environment at Notre Dame Stadium. They always put out those rankings on, Instagram, whatever, the best environments in college football. And I mean, obviously it's hard to rank. Everyone's gonna have bias to whatever school they play at. And there are some great environments across the board. And it also depends on the game. Who are you playing? The environment's
Hmm.
gonna be a little more, the house is gonna be rocking more if you're playing a rival. But
Hmm.
Notre Dame's definitely up there with one of the best environments in college football. And I feel like you see that year after year, every big game. You got the Irish wear green games where everybody's wearing green. They hand out the little glow sticks. I mean, and the crowd's always into it. So talk about being a player in the middle of that crazy environment.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. There's not too many things in the world like it. My biggest thing was really coming out of the tunnel. Seeing all the banners coming down, and the this the Rudy environment of it, the Rudy feel of it, and then you're coming out, the smoke's coming up, and then you just see all the gold helmets, and then smoke, and then you come out and 80,000 live. It's absolutely special. I truly enjoyed it. Like you said, it definitely does depend on the game, but for the most part, especially like my first 4 years there, every game was a sold out crowd. So we always had a packed house that shows, our loyal fans and supporters, which was amazing. Depends on the game, depends on the time of the game, depending on how rowdy the crowd gets. 7:30 night game versus USC is a little different than a 2 o'clock play against Ball State or a 12 o'clock kickoff against Ball State. So But like all in all, through and through, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's incredible. It was a blessing.
That's a bucket list item for me. Go to a
Yeah.
Notre Dame game. I have to someday. Before I
You
die,
haven't been
I
to a
gotta get
game
there.
yet?
No, I'm from way up in Michigan. Too far away.
Too
I
far
gotta,
away in Michigan. Oh man, talking to the Florida kid from Southwest Florida. Oh man, he's funny.
I
Well,
gotta get there
gotta,
though. I gotta
yeah,
get
we
there.
definitely got to get you there. I'm gonna see what I can do this year and see if we can get you to a game. That'd be awesome.
Awesome. Appreciate it. So you once you wrapped up your time at Notre Dame, you went to Miami of Ohio. So you went to a different Miami, not the one from Florida, different
Yeah,
Miami.
yeah.
Um, depending on who you talk to, I think was there an interview once, maybe Brett Gabbert said we're gonna show them who the real Miami is,
Yeah, oh
something
yeah. Shout
like
out
that.
Brett Gabber. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And he's so right though, because we are, if you look it up, we were founded first. We are the
Yeah.
original Miami. Um, but yeah, it was an amazing time. I appreciate them taking a chance on me. I love Notre Dame, but I love football more than I love Notre Dame. So after my couple injuries towards the back end of my career, I just wanted to play football. I didn't want to hang it up to chance that maybe I get to play, maybe I didn't. I wanted to go somewhere where I could, definitely for sure play and make an impact. So I hit the transfer portal. And they took a chance on me. I had a couple injuries coming out, so I wasn't highly recruited out of the transfer portal. But they like my first day in, Coach White, wide receiver coach, now for the Green Bay Packers. Shout out Coach White. Called me first day, and then the second day, Chuck Martin got on the phone with me. Former, I believe, OC at the University of Notre Dame. So a lot of Notre Dame connections, and then the cornerbacks coach from Miami also played at the University of Notre Dame. So, and then like 6 months later, Gus, uh, an, what was he? He was like an analyst, not an analyst. He was like a GA. He was a GA for the University of Notre Dame. Ends up getting the quarterback coaching job at Miami last year. So like four Notre Dame ties just in my single year that I was at Miami. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I was able to be a leader. Basically took everything I learned at the University of Notre Dame and applied it to what they had going on in the MAC, and 11-3 MAC champions, beat Cincinnati, which we haven't done in 19 years, 16 years, I think. And then best record in 19 years, almost 20 years. Last time we had a record like this was with Big Ben. So yeah, it was an amazing time. It was an amazing time. And Brett actually, broke his leg halfway through the season, which, derailed a little bit, maybe my individual statistics. But going to Notre Dame, I realized, it's not about me individually. I've never been a me guy, and that's basically, drilled into you since, you're 18 years old at the University of Notre Dame is, it's not, there's no I in team. There's no me guy. It's we, what can you do to be an asset to the team? So, I was going off hot, the first 6 games of the year at Miami, and then Brett kind of broke his leg. We had a different quarterback come in, and the offensive game plan kind of changed, and had 300 yards in my first 6 games, and then the last 6 games had like 50 yards. But we continued to win games, so I knew my role had to switch, and I had to continue to be a leader. But we won the MAC championship. I got a big fat championship ring, which I never got in 5 years at the University of Notre Dame. So got a big fat championship ring, and yeah, I had a great time at Miami.
Was it I think it was Cortland Sutton recently in an interview this year said something kind of like I'll do whatever it takes for the team to win. I'll block TJ Watt if I have to. I think
Yes.
that's what he said. That's that give anything for the team attitude, and you don't always see that at higher
Mm,
levels. You get Division 1, there's a lot of guys like you said, it's all about me, it's all about me, 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 me. And, some guys only care about getting to the NFL. They're just going to use that D1 stop on the way. But,
mhm,
I feel like that's not fair to your teammates. And
mhm.
and you're going to you want to be remembered as a good teammate, right? Like you don't want to be remembered as that guy who only cared about himself because once you're all done playing football, the connections you made, the friendships you made, the memories, that all means way more in the end. That
Yes,
kind of legacy, that personal legacy you have above all things.
absolutely.
People are
100%.
remembered for being good people or bad people.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've actually talked to a couple of my teammates in the last month or so, and that's exactly what they told me. They're like, man, Joe Wilkins was one of my favorite teammates. Like one of my other teammates asked a teammate and said, "Who's your favorite teammate?" And he said Joe Wilkins. Joe Wilkins is one of my favorite teammates, and I feel like that's just a kudos to me. And like I told you, I try to be that rah guy that it's 5 o'clock in the morning. We got a 6 o'clock lift. Come on, boys, we're blessed to be here. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah,
And that was really instilled into me at the University of Notre Dame. And yeah, I just try to be the best teammate, man, individual that I can be. Because like you said, yeah, that's what lasts. 30 years from now hopefully those boys can my same teammates, the 100 teammates that I've had, at the University of Notre Dame and another teammates at Miami University, we can all get on a call 30 years from now and they're like, man, it was so nice to have Joe as a teammate. And Joe really did this, and Joe was never really a me guy. And I feel like that fulfills me more than making it to the NFL, believe it or not.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, making it to the NFL and all that's obviously great. Everyone wants that. But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, like I was talking about this at work today with somebody, like what determines success? For some people, they think money determines success, but we were all kind of in agreement that happiness determines success. If you're happy, then you had a successful career, you had a
Yeah.
successful life. So it's kind of the same thing. Like you made a good, solid impact on the game, on your teammates, on your friends. That can mean more than making it to this, that, or the other thing. So there's different ways to look at it. And throughout your
Oh,
college career, you played
absolutely.
with
And
some. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Didn't mean to interrupt you there.
nah, sorry. I think my connection is bad, so I think I'm a couple seconds behind you. But just on the point that you were just saying, our head medical guy trainer, Rob Hunt, said exactly that. I remember I was dejected after tearing my MCL, and I'm like, Rob, man, I want more. I know I can do more. I want to make it to the NFL. I know this. And he's like, Joe, relax. He's like, you have done so much so far. Like, and in my head, I'm like, 2 touchdowns, 100 something yards. Like, that's nothing, Rob. Like, man, I can do more. He's like, Joe, relax. Like, I promise you, you have done so much already, and even if you're done now, you have done so like you are great, Joe. You are so great. But in the moment you don't see that. But what he hit home was, happiness. You need to be happy with what you've done already and be thankful for the opportunities that have already presented itself. Because if you keep on wanting more, man, you can get successful there, but you'll beat yourself up along the way. And so by the time you reach your success, you're so beat up, it's like, dang, like I don't have any friends, I done burned bridges, I done crossed people, I done did things against my moral code, and now I'm successful, and now it's like I don't have any friends, I don't have anybody to share my success with. So you're
Yeah.
right.
I think that's like one of the biggest pieces of advice for young athletes. I feel like it can't be said enough. And it takes people who have been there, guys like you that have played at a high level to say that, where kids are like, oh, hey, wait a second. This guy played D1 football and he's, because it always helps to hear it from somebody who's lived it, right? I mean? Like as
Oh
a young
yeah.
kid, the people you look up to, when they say something, you're like, oh man, like I should listen to this guy because he was successful, kind of living
Yeah.
this mentality. So it's definitely great advice, and hopefully more young athletes can kind of follow that mentality.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my best to give back because that's kind of like who I want to be, and that's something I've realized in the last month or two. Kind of figuring out my purpose is, I want to give back. My mom always told me she could see me being a football coach. I just went to the Miami Notre Dame game, met some former teammates, and they said, "Man, Joe, I think you can be a great coach. You can be a great coach." And I think I can be a great coach, and I will be a great coach eventually. But right now, not looking to coach yet, but I know it's going to be down the road in the future. And that's definitely, because I was the same way. My mom used to tell me a whole bunch of beneficial things like stretching and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, I don't need to stretch. I'm scoring touchdowns already, Ma. Like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And but once you're so right. Once Noel Devine told me, Joe, you need to stretch. I'm like, ooh, I need to start stretching. Or once I pulled my hamstring when I got to University of Notre Dame, I'm like, dang, if I'd have just listened to my mom 2 years ago, I wouldn't have pulled my hamstring, and maybe I could have cracked the starting lineup, and maybe I could have made a couple more plays. But you're hard headed. A hard head make a soft tail. That's what they say, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you're a young kid and your parents tell you
Yeah,
something or your teachers tell you something, you think you're the king of the world. You're a young kid. These adults don't know
yeah,
anything. We've all been
yeah,
there. We all grow up and we all mature and we all figure it out eventually. But I mean, it's kind of like that phase you got to go through where you're just like, there's that little bit of
sure is.
rebellion, that defiance, and sometimes you learn those lessons the hard way.
Yeah, they're touching that stove top. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully it only takes one time to burn your hand, and then all right,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch that stove. But you gotta touch it. You gotta burn yourself. It's all right.
Yeah. Everyone's got to do it at some point with something. So you played with a lot of great players. I mean, we could sit here and we could rattle off all the guys you've played with at Miami and at Notre Dame over the years. But I mean, there's a few notable ones, guys. Ian Book and Brett Gabbert, both quarterbacks at Notre Dame and then at Miami. Receivers like Ben Skoranek and Chase Claypool. Guys that are having successful NFL careers and guys that have battled adversity. So you've played with, we could go on the defensive side of the ball and rattle off all the guys that are playing too. But playing with great guys, I mean, it helps build your game, it helps build their game, and build you as a person and them as a person. So I mean, it had to be pretty cool. I mean, not everyone's got that opportunity, right? You played a small school, and maybe nobody went to the NFL, and maybe nobody made it big. So you
Yeah.
didn't play with any great players. It's like if you're a rookie drafted to the worst team, it's going to be harder to learn than if you're drafted to, say, the Chiefs. Okay, now you're learning from Patrick Mahomes. You can
Yeah.
play with him. You're going to grow better. Kind of when you're playing with greatness, it helps you be great.
Oh, absolutely. That's the culture at Notre Dame. That's why it's so beneficial to go to Notre Dame, because the culture is so strong, and then on top of the culture, you have great players. So, like you said, obviously the quarterbacks. Ian was awesome. He's a winner. He was a winner. He won. He was a winner. He was first one in the building, last one out of the building. Great guy. Actually, my freshman year when I came in, Brandon Wimbush, I was a starter, and I was a two, so I was a backup, and I was with Ian. So going into fall camp, I was running with Ian all the time, and I always would tell everybody, man, like Ian throws such a beautiful ball. Like Ian was good. Ian was good. And then I think they got replaced. Ian was a one. I wasn't with him anymore. I was with Phil Dracovic or Brandon Wimbush, and it was just a different ball. And you can notice it. You noticed it as a wide receiver. We noticed it. Like I know some wide receivers that were like, man, I hate going up again. I hate when this person is throwing the ball because you never know what you're gonna get. High, low, a ball 100 miles per hour, and it's our job to catch it. That's what our wide receiver coach. There's no such thing as a bad ball, but as a wide receiver, 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, man, like there is such a thing as a bad ball. But that was great. And then, Chase Claypool coming in my freshman year, he took me under his wing. He was my big brother. We actually went to spring break together. We went on a spring break trip together. And he was amazing. Like I said, took me under his wing. I actually lived with him a little bit off campus for my summer, just kind of teaching me the plays, teaching me the ropes, and then pushing each other. I don't think you mentioned him, but Kevin Austin. We got Braden Lindsey, Lawrence Keys, Chase Claypool, Miles Boykin. Like you got a whole string of competitive dogs that just wanted it so bad. So we're competing our tails off. Winter, spring, everybody. And Braden Lindsey super fast, Lawrence Keys super quick and fast, Chase Claypool fast and big. Miles Boykin is a sleeper, 6'4", ran a 4.4 or something like that. Jumped a 40-inch vertical. Kevin Austin, 40-inch vertical, 4.4. So like them that little group right there was just amazing to compete with, and we made each other better every day. And anybody would be lying if they said we didn't push each other. It was
Yeah. Oh
great.
yeah, those are some great names. Those are some great. I was a big Miles Boykin fan. I'm a big.
He's
I mean, like I
great.
told you, Notre Dame. Like I'm always like, oh, that guy's better. He should have been drafted higher. He went. Come on. Like I'm always rooting for the Irish guys in the draft,
Yeah.
thinking they're being slept on or they're
Yeah.
underrated. But there's some great athletes that come out, and it's fun being a fan. I like to follow the guys to the next level. What teams are they playing on every week? I'm looking like they get game action. Like did they? Oh, he made a catch. Like let's go. And I'm always excited to see the Notre Dame guys have success at the higher level. So it's definitely fun to watch. Like as a fan, seeing those guys go on and to have success.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You cut out a little bit for me. Am I looking crazy?
It froze
My
a
my
few times. I
connection's
didn't
a
know
little
if I didn't know
unstable.
if you could
Can you tell?
you could hear me or not. If your face kind of froze there for a sec, I was just saying
Yeah.
like how fun it, as a fan, like when guys get drafted, like I check up, like oh, I know this guy plays for that team, so do you get game time? Like oh, he made a catch, like yeah, let's go, Irish in the NFL, like
Yeah.
fun to kind of just watch and,
Yeah.
and follow him through the league.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure.
So in a non-football sense, just a couple like non-football questions to wrap it up. Like if somebody told you today you could have an all-expense paid trip anywhere in the world, just like kind of like a dream vacation spot, like where would you go?
Ooh, dream vacation. Somewhere with beautiful water. I'm a Florida boy, so I love the ocean. I love the water. So anywhere with crystal clear water. I don't know what they say, like Fiji or
Yeah. The Maldives
some
or
type.
something like.
Yeah, yeah. Now you know where it is. I love the water. I'm a Florida boy. Love the water. So if I could like snorkel with fish, maybe spearfish some dinner, I'd love to do that. It seems
Yeah.
amazing. Love the sun.
You got those milk white beaches, the sand that just looks fake. I mean, like those pictures, you're like, how can that be real?
Yeah, you just need to plop me on the beach. I mean, get a picture of
Yeah.
me, with a
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
margarita or a coconut.
Yeah. Margarita in one hand, fishing rod in the other hand. You're good to go.
Yeah, you're getting it. You got it. You got it.
I love it. I love it. All right, I end every episode on music because I'm a big music guy, so I love getting other people's opinions on music. It's some people some people like music, and some people I'll ask them like, what kind of music they like, and like, "Oh, I don't really listen to music." So I mean, this kind of can go either way depending on if you're a music person or not. So are you a big music guy? You like music a lot?
Yeah, big music guy. Big music guy. I always yeah. And I kind of love all genres. I kind of take that back. Obviously, I really like rap, but I listen to a lot of art. Um, right now, I'd probably say just on like some more mature, chill stuff is Larry June. So a little Larry June. I know Rob Wave just dropped an album which was pretty good. It was decent. He's had better stuff.
What's
But
your like?
a
What's your
lot of
like?
really rappers.
What's your like favorite song right now? Like a song that you're just like really high on right now.
Favorite song. Let me see. Oh man, let me see. I really can't. I can't even think. Like I like so much music. What do I like? Actually, I don't know.
Like, is
Favorite.
there anything you've like been listening to recently that you're like, this is my jam. I can just listen to this all day long, over and over on repeat.
My bad. I know. I wish I could look at like my most played. If I can cool.
I know it's hard to narrow it down and pinpoint it on one song, and I'm like putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, like yeah, I should have been more prepared. Should have had something for you. Oh, uh,
You
there's
look
so
like
many I
you
could throw out there. I
you look like
mean,
you want to
I
say
was I'm
something.
I know, but you know me, I listen to some crazy music that a lot of people probably wouldn't like. But I would say maybe appreciate it all, Larry June. Just like just on some chill stuff.
Okay.
Appreciate it all.
Hey, it
Wait
doesn't
on me.
matter. It doesn't matter if
Is
other
another good
people
Larry.
hate on your music or not, right? Like as long as it makes you happy, that's what counts.
June. Yeah, 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 that's very true. That is very true. But I'd probably say those two.
I don't know,
Magnum PI is a good one. A lot of Larry June.
a
Go
song that
ahead.
I've been really into over like the past, I don't know, like over the summer, like through now, and a lot of people have like a love or a hate relationship with this artist. I feel like he's Young Gravy. I feel like people either like him or they like hate his music. And I absolutely love Betty Get Money. I love that song. That's like my go-to. Like it makes me happy. I
What's
don't
it
know
called?
why. Betty Get Money. I don't
Get
know.
Money by Young Gravy. Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
check it out.
I don't know what it is
I know I've
about that song.
heard of Gravy, but
Yeah, I mean
not not too much.
he's I feel like he's kind of like a love him or hate him guy. Um But yeah, I don't know. I'm same thing. Like I'm all over with music. I mean, I like everything from classical to like heavy metal. I'm not a huge rap guy, but I really like Pop Smoke a lot. I used to like Lil Yachty a lot, like old Lil Yachty, like the I don't know. I don't
No,
like new
that's
Lil
a
Yachty as
classic.
much, but like the old Lil Yachty, the classic stuff. But I mean, I like classic rock and I like classic kind. I mean, I'm all over the board. Kind of like whatever's on the radio, I could probably jam with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm definitely the same. Going to Notre Dame, like, you got friends from all across the world. So it's like I'm listening to this guy's music, this guy's, we got Cali, we got Texas, we got Jersey, we got Florida, we got, Chicago, Indiana. You got people from all over. So I really, my taste, I just got a whole bunch there and then now I'm putting my own kind of stuff onto it. But I like some crazy stuff. I go to the gym heavy, so I'm going crazy in the gym to my stuff. So I've been trying to like mellow it out with some Larry June, just on some good vibes, get some money, get out of the way and live a good life. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I like it. But Joel, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast. It's always a pleasure to interview anybody that's had anything to do with Notre Dame. Huge Irish guy, so was looking forward to this, and it was definitely a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you reaching out, and it was a pleasure. The pleasure's all mine. Yeah, it was great. Again, I'll see if I can shoot old Paul a text. I don't know if I have whoever else you were talking about, but I can shoot Paul a text, let him know you're a great guy, and that he should definitely hop on. And again, I appreciate the support, the Irish support. See if we can get you to a game or something. I can't believe I haven't been to a game. All the crazy support, not been to a game. We got to change
I
that,
know,
please.
I know. It's bucket list for sure. It's definitely bucket list.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, appreciate you. Great deal, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.